And our final speaker of the evening is MJ. He is a senior management major.
I was 17 years old the first time Miss Jenny told me I'd never make it. Her words lingered in my head like a catchy song, but she was wrong, right? I left her office in a daze, feeling like someone had just told me I was terminally ill. It was 2:15 p.m. on a rainy day back home in St. Louis, Missouri. At the time, the only things on my mind were video games and sports. Unless, of course, you count the loud, constant, ear-shattering, world-defining opinions of other people. I mean, at 17, my entire existence came down to what other people said about me. If they said I wasn't smart, then I wasn't. If they said I was too fragile, then I was. And just like that 17-year-old boy, I think we've all been there, letting someone else's opinion become our identity. But what if I told you that you could be the most powerful person on the face of the earth? That no matter what you did or who dared to doubt you, you would always walk away victorious. Most of you probably wouldn't believe me, but science tells a different story. The Pygmalion effect states that we rise or fall to the level of expectation placed upon us. Simply put, if the people around you believe you are a failure, then you are more likely to prove them right. But we didn't just stumble on this realization. In ancient times, there was a man named Pygmalion. Now, Pygmalion was a famous sculptor known for some of the world's most beautiful pieces of art. But even with all that notoriety, he was no good with women. Every interaction ended the same. A smile, a conversation, dreams of their future, and then nothing. Women would disappear and avoid him like the plague. So with a broken heart, he did what only a sculptor could do. He set out on a journey to sculpt the perfect woman, one who is accepting of his kind of love. For years, he chipped away at a block of ivory until she looked real. Her face was delicate. Her hands were smooth. Her eyes were as light as the sky. He fell in love. He fell in love. He would spend his days just sitting there, admiring her beauty, anxiously waiting for night so he could dream of their life together. And in the heavens, the gods saw his devotion. They saw belief so strong that it blurred the lines between imagination and reality. So, they did the unthinkable. When Pygmalion woke the next morning, there she was, beautiful, living, and as real as you and I. This became the origin story of one of the most powerful psychological effects that we've studied to date. And I get it. You're thinking, MJ, this is cool and all, but it's just a myth. We live in the real world. And you're right. But when you strip that myth down to its core, it isn't about love. It's about belief. Some call it delusion. I call it faith. Because Pygmalion didn't just sculpt a beauty. He believed in her so deeply that she came to life. See where I'm going with this? And that's what we do too. Every single day, we sculpt people with our expectation. With every word we say, every glance we give, every label we attach. And that can build somebody up, or it can wipe them out completely. In 1962, a pair of researchers proved how powerful the Pygmalion effect really is. They created a fake IQ test and told teachers that specific students were intellectual bloomers. Here's the catch, though. Those students scored average and were picked at random, so. The researchers wanted to see if the expectations placed on them by the teachers caused them to actually bloom. Now, in 1962, this was a long shot. Sure, there were other studies done, but they weren't completely certain. 1 year later, all doubt left their mind. According to the Rosenthal study, in the first grade alone, the bloomers saw a plus 15.4 point increase in their IQ compared to the other group. This shocked scientists across the globe who scattered to find answers. There are many theories on why this happened, but most importantly, because the teachers believed those students were smarter, they treated them in a way that was consistent with that expectation. This could have looked like them pushing them a little further on their ideas or having them answer more questions on the board. Whatever happened, this shows us that belief is contagious. When someone sees potential in you, you start to see it too. But what if they see the opposite? What if, like me, Miss Jenny believed you'd never make it? At the beginning of this speech, I told you that belief creates results, that we find every subconscious excuse to live up or down to the expectations people place on us. But this whole time, I've been lying to you. The story that I've been feeding you about this 17-year-old boy, it isn't mine. It belonged to my friend. We'll call him Josh. Miss Jenny was actually his father, and the office was his dull living room riddled with beer cans. I met Josh playing video games years ago. We randomly loaded in on the same team and helped each other get our first win on Fortnite. Josh was the most charismatic, kind, and positive person that I knew. From the moment I met him, I knew we'd be great friends, and to my luck, we only lived 45 minutes apart. One day, I begged my mom to let me drive her car to meet Josh in person. I remember walking up to his door, being so excited. I knock, and it instantly gets darker. So I turn around to see where the sun went, and all I see is this tall shadow standing over me. I'm like, Josh? He's like, MJ? I said, you're tall. And he goes, and you're short. I am not that short. I'm not that short, okay? But most importantly, I saw a slight hint of gray behind his eyes. What I quickly found out is that Josh's smile was actually a mask. His home was a living hell, and his life was growing darker and darker each day. I learned that his dad would project his own nonsense onto his son. You're worthless. You'll never amount to anything. You're a disappointment. Video games were his escape until it wasn't. At 4 p.m. in pure routine, I logged on, invited him to a party chat, and for the first time, I heard nothing back. Annoyed, I texted him and his brother to ask if they were still going to join. 10 minutes later, still no answer. 20 minutes, what the hell is going on? An hour later in all caps, what are you two doing? And that's when the silence finally broke. Hey man, Josh's brother texted me. Josh is gone. What? No, he's just not on right now. He's still in practice, right? Yeah, that's what he meant. The denial faded. He didn't. He meant Josh was really gone. Josh had ended his own suffering. He was gone, and I failed him. All of the late night games where I would tell him his worth or the midday check-ins, none of it was enough to save his life. I failed him. The Pygmalion effect states that we rise or fall to the level of expectation placed upon us. In Josh's case, his father didn't believe in him, and that disbelief became poison, not just in his home, but in his head. Every insult carved into him like a sculptor chiseling away at stone. What I failed to make him believe was that power doesn't start out there. It starts in here. It starts with your expectation of yourself. You have to believe with every fiber of your being that you have the potential to do great things. Because every word you speak to yourself is a tiny chisel. And with every strike, you're sculpting the person you'll become. You need to be your own Pygmalion. Some will call it delusion. I call it faith. Because if belief can give life to stone, if belief can dramatically increase your IQ, and if belief can take a beautiful life from this planet, then imagine what belief could do for you. So, what if I told you that you could be the most powerful person on the face of the earth. That no matter what you did or who dared to doubt you, you would always walk away victorious. Most of you didn't believe me. But now, you know you always were. Thank you.